Welcome to Centene Stadium, Gay Field. Dan Matthews, Todd Walker, just underway here between St. Thomas and Missouri State. St. Thomas wins the opening faceoff. They're in the offensive zone. Peter Schublum with the ball near side for St. Thomas. He gives it to Lucius. This St. Thomas squad, the only team that's actually gotten to play all of their games so far. So the sun's shining brightly on Coach Pete Moosbrugger and his St. Thomas Tommies.
Yeah, they managed to dodge the weather yesterday with the early game, and they have not had to suffer any lightning delays.
Tommies with the ball, far side. That's Lucius. Ball swinging behind the cage for the Tommies. Palermo up top. He was our player of the game in yesterday's morning tilt against Missouri Baptist. Again, we have no clock in the stadium, folks. We will keep you apprised best that we can. Don't forget, you're watching Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse. Sponsored by Bam Shaft, the original bamboo lacrosse shaft, and Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. Missouri State gets the ball on the turnover. Weiler with it, far side, directing traffic for the Bears. Up top to Squires, who just came on the field for the Bears. Last substitution being made, that's Baker Jones. And the Bears will set their offense. Ball on the ground, it's going to be picked up by Jones. Jones to Bostwick. Bostwick can't handle it, but is able to scoop it up. Move the ball to the far side. Right hand cradle. Looking inside. Ball gets away, and it's picked up by Ryan Zeilinger, the goaltender, for St. Thomas. And the Tommies will take it the other direction.
Yeah, both teams stand on their first possession, trying to force the ball into the crease to a guy that wasn't really open, and both efforts resulted in turnovers.
There's a shot in the goal for the Tommies. That one from Nick Altman, his second of the weekend, 10th of the year.
Yeah, and Altman was open on that cut across the crease, and good job to get him the ball. He just turned and shot it past the goaltender.
Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you. St. Thomas first on the board, leading this game 1-0 against the Missouri State Bears. Dean Cervantes at the X for the Bears. Face off by committee for St. Thomas. This looks to be Rajinovich at the X for St. Thomas. Bears win this faceoff. Cervantes picking it up. Errant pass out of bounds. It'll belong off the stick of St. Thomas. It'll stay Bears ball. I don't know what to do with all this sunshine, Todd.
Well, it's
kind of coming right into the press box and messing with the vision. So we'll put on the hat.
I'd rather be trying to keep the sun out of my eyes than the lightning, so I'm not going to complain.
Lovely hat provided by Northwest Audio Visual Productions. Great work by our crew out of Portland. The Tommies take possession on the turnover. That's Mackey straight to the cage. He shoots, sails wide, out of bounds, and into the whatever's behind the field.
Well, weeds if nothing else.
Oh, you're this side. Oh, you're this side. Hey! See right there. See right there. Look behind. Look up.
Bears turn the ball over on the clear. St. Thomas possession again. That's Amar. Amar sends it near side to Vasco. Vasco, the transfer from Arizona State University, the Valley of the Sun. Burke with it, near side GLE. Behind the cage for Carbonneau. Back to Burke behind the cage. Substitutions for St. Thomas. It's John Michael Kuhn with the ball. He gives it up top, feeds it left side. Pass unable to be controlled by Hersman, out of bounds, Bears ball.
10 minutes.
1-0 our score, 10 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you from Centene Stadium, Gay Field in Clayton, Missouri. Just outside of St. Louis. Here at the St. Louis Invitational, we've got laundry on the field.
Yeah,
There's an upcoming penalty to St. Thomas, to another one down. We're gonna have upcoming penalties to St. Thomas. Bears with the ball. Feed across, ball down, whistle sounds, third flag down.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, Dan. We had Burke from the attack go offsides. Carbonneau standing behind him for some reason just stepped across the midfield line. That's your second offside flag, and then we had what looked like a late hit after the pass over here on the wing.
We'll get the call from our officials.
Purple, 3, 4, legal body check.
Yeah.
1 minute. Got purple, 7, offside, possession, 30 seconds. Purple, 4, offside, possession, 30 seconds.
2 offsides and an illegal check. We've got 3 purple shirts sitting in the box.
Is our second 3-man down of the weekend, and need I say, an excellent opportunity for Missouri State.
Kind of reminds me of that song, the 10 Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed. Right now, we got 3 monkeys that fell off. They're in the box for St. Thomas.
Yeah, a little bit of a careless flurry there by the Tommies.
1-0 our score. The Tommies on top. 3 men down on the possession. Bears working the ball around. Good triangle set by the Tommies. Bears work it. Squires up top. Has the ball. Shoots. Ball blocked before it ever gets the goaltender, Zeilinger. And the Bears pick it up on the loose ball. They've got numbers. Feed inside. Zeilinger, good job, and the ball hits the turf. Tommies will clear. First penalty's been released.
Yeah, the first 2 offsides
are done.
The Tommies are still 1 man down for a little less than 30 seconds.
Feed inside, shot goes wide, Burke backs it up. His pass to the center is intercepted. by Cervantes.
Yeah, another pass forced into the middle where there just really wasn't an open guy.
St. Thomas comes up with another ground ball. Carbonneau working the ball down low behind the cage. Tommies will reset the offense. Carbonneau's feed deflected. Good man ball work by the Tommies. Schlipala picks it up. The Tommies call timeout. We're at 7 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. St. Thomas 1, Missouri State 0. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. We're back at Centene Stadium in beautiful Clayton, Missouri. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. This game between number 2 St. Thomas and the Missouri State Bears, ranked number 23 in the country. St. Thomas, if they can win this one, will pull off the sweep this weekend at the Invitational and should ascend the polls to number 1 on Tuesday. St. Thomas restarts. They're on offense with a 1-goal lead. That's Kuhn near side on the wing. Gives it up top to Schlipala. Hersman with it. He throws it away. Kuhn will chase it down. It'll remain St. Thomas possession.
And they've been warned to keep it in here, Dan, so the officials are taking note of the deliberate offense here. And another ball forced into the middle.
Good defense by the Bears. There's a wrap check by Hersman. Hersman comes off the field. Missouri State clears. Missouri State throws it away, back to St. Thomas. 1-0 your score. The Tommies with the lead and possession.
Yeah, both teams looking kind of tight here early on, Dan. We've seen a lot of unforced turnovers and kind of some forced passes. Hopefully both teams will settle down here and get into a little bit of a rhythm.
Really, this is what we expected out of our 8 o'clock game.
Yeah, you are correct. And there's an offsides call that turns the ball over to Missouri State.
Six minutes and 20 seconds in the first. Kuhn with the ball, left-hand cradle, far side on the clear for St. Thomas. There's a rocket. That one sails wide off the cross of Nick Altman from the near side wing. Another one, that one off the face mask of goaltender Fred Nyhard for Missouri State and out of bounds.
Right off the grill.
St. Thomas ball. They don't say how you have to save it, they just say you have to save it.
Yeah, it was, the shot by Altman was a good hard shot, but he was standing, standing flat-footed at 15 yards. Wasn't making the goalie move. He missed the cage. Again, not probably the best shot that the Tommies are looking for right now.
Tommy's working the ball around. Up top. That was Hersman.
Good save.
Feed across and a nice save by Nyhard. Kuhn up top to Klipala. Near side to Hersman. Tommy's lead 1-0. Just over midway through the first period of play. A nice save by Nyhard. Bears in this one early. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes in the first quarter. Dan Matthews, Todd Walker. Bears down 1 with possession. Weiler has it. He gives it to Squires. No, he hangs on to it. Folks, I understand we are now live. Our stream up and working here in St. Louis, Missouri at Centene Stadium, Gay Field. It's 1-0 St. Thomas. You are watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse. Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. The Tommies up 1-0. Earlier today, it was North Dakota State with the 8-7 victory over the Davenport Panthers. It's about 10:45 here in St. Louis. And yes, we did get started at 8 o'clock this morning local time, before the sun was ever up in California.
The sun was just barely up here.
Ball out of bounds. It'll belong to the Tommies.
Yeah, Missouri State was playing a little bit of lock-off on that last flurry, Dan. Sort of an interesting strategy at this point, but it seemed to disconcert St. Thomas a little bit and almost resulted in a turnover.
That's Joe Palermo, yesterday's player of the game. He shoots. Nice save, Nyhard. Rebound comes back out to St. Thomas. Shot doesn't go on goal. Feed up top to Lucius. Lucius will cycle the ball behind the cage. That's Carbonneau. Far side Burke. Just in case you didn't know, that game against Davenport and North Dakota State was tape delayed for us as our internet service here at the stadium was not up and running when we expected it to be. As such, that game will be uploaded to Lax TV sometime in the next 24 hours. You'll be able to catch that action between North Dakota State and Davenport. The Bison, an 8-7 winner in that one, and it's well worth the watch. We've got a timeout on the field. The Bears take it, trailing 1-0 to the St. Thomas Tommies. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
Welcome back to Centene Stadium, folks. We're here at in Clayton, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis.
We're in Clayton, St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri. The rare double city visit. We're here with a game featuring the St. Thomas Tommies against the Missouri State Bears. Currently, the Tommies have a 1-0 lead. Just before that last time out, number 11, Jesse Amar, for the Tommies called for a trip. So the Bears will start this playoff extra man for 1 minute.
Bears keeping this one close early, 1-0. Both teams look like, well, they just woke up.
So far, it's been a little ratty.
Bears on offense. Man up for 1 minute. Feed inside. Doesn't get there. Bears content to work it around. That's Callahan near side. He gives it to Scherer. Up top to Squires, over to Baker, back up top to Squires. Feed to the far wing. Shot sails wide. That off the cross of Bostwick. I'm Dan Matthews. The other guy, Todd Walker, your color commentator here today for this MCLA action between St. Thomas and Missouri State. Good shot. Better save. Saba on the shot. Zeilinger on the save. Saba just got into the right frame to be able to get that one off and a good shot on Cage. Folks, if you're watching us live wherever you are, please feel free to interact with us on Twitter. Twitter handle for us is @LaxTV. That's LAXX TV. Tommy's clear the ball and bring it into the box. Far side with it is Schublum, and we've got a whistle. We're going to give the ball back to the Bears. Head coach Pat Callahan, a little excited on the sidelines for the Bears. Callahan wearing the Missouri State black polo shirt. Burgundy cap. Very involved during the course of a game is Callahan.
He is, but Missouri State really needs to push this up. And I think we're going to have another careless offside call. Actually, Mr. Burke was standing 2 yards offsides and did not realize where he was.
We've got to put a mark at that 50-yard line that says "Do not cross" under penalty of death.
Well, in his defense, Dan, I dislike football fields where the midfield line is not marked as anything other than the white football marking. It really can be difficult to know, unless you're looking at the cones on the sideline. It can be difficult to know where that midfield line is.
Certainly. Always coming to the rescue, aren't you?
Well, I got to stick up for the attackman a little bit.
I'm thinking the attackmen just want a little bit more action. Missouri State ball. That's Baker. Near side to Scherer behind the cage. Back to Scherer. His shot finds the far corner, down low, beating Ryan Zeilinger. And we're knotted at 1.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot by Scherer. He caught the ball up on the wing from the X, stepped into the shot and just pinged that bottom right corner. Beautiful, accurate shot.
Get a good look at the replay here, and you'll see that ball just hit the far corner down low. And a great shot by Scherer.
Defense drawn behind a little bit. Scherer, not a lot of angle, but again, a good, hard, accurate shot. A lot like what we saw at Peter Carbonneau the other day.
So back to the X we go. This face-off won by Palermo. Just about 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 1-1 our score, Missouri and St. Thomas. Missouri State and St. Thomas. Loose ball, ultimately scooped up by Kevin Goss. Goss had a goal the other day. Guess that was yesterday in our only game.
Yeah, we're going to have another offsides call, Dan, this time on Missouri State. Again, Cameron Bostwick just kind of lost track of where he was and stepped over the line. There's a recurring theme here.
Carbonneau holds on to the ball to run out the clock. So when we start the second quarter of play, the Tommies will have the ball and a 30-second man up. Our score at the end of 1, knotted at 1 between St. Thomas and Missouri State. You're watching MCLA Division II lacrosse on Lax TV. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker back here with you at Centene Stadium, Gay Field in Clayton, Missouri. This tilt between St. Thomas and Missouri State knotted up at 1 as we begin the second period. St. Thomas will be moving right to left across your screen in the purple, trimmed in silver. The Missouri State Bears wearing their white uniforms with burgundy trim. Stay tuned at the end of the game, folks, for our Bam Shaft Player of the Game. That award won so far by Carbonneau and Palermo for St. Thomas in their previous 2 tilts here at the St. Louis Invitational. Nice event put together by Andy Jolly, head coach at Missouri Baptist University, and poor Andy Jolly just hasn't caught a break all weekend long with the weather, but he's managed the complications with great grace. There's a goal. That's Klipala for St. Thomas from the near side, down low on the wraparound goal.
Yeah, good look on the backside crease there by Clavin, who's a good-looking freshman. Big kid. I like the way he moves. I like the way he handles the stick. Nice look on the extra man going across crease to Chipala.
That's 2-1, St. Thomas.
The complications.
Tommy's up by a goal. Here in the second period, we've got a push. It's going to belong to purple. That being St. Thomas goes back on the offense. Stay tuned for our Inside Lacrosse halftime show. Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you. St. Thomas leading this one 2-1. The Tommies a 9-8 victor over Davenport on Friday. And an 11-4 victory over Missouri Baptist yesterday morning. Again, the only team with multiple games scheduled that's actually been able to play both games. when they were scheduled anyway.
Right. Weather has certainly been an issue here this weekend. Nice at the moment, at least, to not have any electricity coursing through the sky.
Yeah, 17 hours delay between the third and fourth periods of the Missouri Baptist opening game, and then again 18 hours before we could even get started on the North Dakota State Davenport game. There's a feed inside shot. What a great shot that was from Burke on the quick look. Sailed a little bit wide. Carbonneau gets the backup.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure he was the intended target of that pass, but managed to be in the right place at the right time and got a good quick shot off.
John Michael Kuhn feeds it over to Hersman. Hersman drops it. Missouri State will take it the other way. That's Josh Harmon for the Bears. The Bears get the clear. Had a cutter, and Joey Saba opted to pull the ball back out and reset the offense for the Bears. Saba has it, near side GLE. Brings it up top to Scherer. Scherer's manned up by John Michael Kuhn. Baker, the last one onto the field.
Dan, I think our crack camera crew has some footage of what we've been dealing with here this weekend. If you can see a shot of some of the lightning that we've been experiencing over the course of the 3 days that we've been here.
Folks, when you're talking about a 30% chance of thunderstorms in St. Louis, that means it will happen.
Apparently it means 100% chance of hail and lightning.
The Bears turn the ball over. St. Thomas with it in the offensive zone. That's Kuhn. Near side at the top. Tommy's working the ball around in circle offense formation. Kuhn heads far side, dishes it back near side. Big hit, ball rolls out of bounds. That hit was levied by Ryan Moriarty from Osage Beach, Missouri.
That was a nice check, Dan. Kind of coming out full speed and put the body on the ball carrier and got the ball out of his stick.
That was Carbonneau, and Carbonneau came up a bit winded. He's all right, he'll stay on the field.
Oh gosh.
That pass deflected. St. Thomas has it. That's a case of let's carry the ball across for a little bit. Carbonneau behind the cage. Feeds it out, Palermo scores. That was a rocket that was never seen by goaltender Fred Nyhard.
No, there's a taste of some of what we saw from Joe Palermo yesterday, and a good hard shot. And again, we've talked about this in some previous games, Dan. It's a real good idea if you're a shooter to use the defender who's on you as a screen for the goalie. And Joe just shot around his man, and you're right, Nyhard never saw the ball.
Score right now, 3-1 in favor of St. Thomas. The Tommies over the Bears. We're in the second quarter here at Centene Stadium's Gay Field. St. Thomas wins the faceoff. Palermo gives it to Lucius. Shot sails wide on the near side. Backed up nicely by Burke. Michael Fitzgerald into the game, has the ball on the near side. Fitzgerald, a senior from Lakeville South up in Minnesota. Ball up top to Palermo, feed to the far side. That's picked up by Colpitz. Tommy's working the ball around. Lucius has it. Carries the ball all the way to the far side of the field. Palermo, shot sails wide, backed up by Burke. At front to Fitzgerald off the head of Nyhard. That's 2 head saves for Nyhard today.
That was actually off the bean of the defenseman. Dan Nyhard never got to it. It bounced off of I think that's, who's 24? 24 is Zach.
24 is Cutter Klein.
Cutter Klein.
Clyde's the one with the bright shoes out there.
He does have the bright shoes.
Shot by Colpitts from the far wing, sails wide, backed up by Fitzgerald.
Lax TV presented in part by In Lax We Trust. Listen to the best NCAA D3 action on the Lacrosse Radio Network, the home of live lacrosse audio via inlaxwetrust.com.
Tommy's putting a boatload of balls on cage now, finding themselves on offense.
Starting to look a little bit more like what we saw yesterday, Dan, where they really started to early from the get-go were forcing the issue. They're really starting to take a lot more shots and kind of control their passes a little bit better.
There's a shot and a goal. That one by Palermo, his second of the game. Back-to-back for Palermo here in the second quarter.
Yeah, nothing fancy there, Dan. Palermo gets the ball from across the field, just one step, one crank, and buries it in that right side of the goal.
4-1 our score. St. Thomas opening up a 3-goal lead here in the second period.
And again, Palermo is the master of using his man as a screen for the goalie.
Tommy's win the face-off and bring the ball into the offensive zone. There's a shot that sails wide by Kuhn. Fitzgerald there on the backup as he was perched at X. Hersman has it. Dumps it inside to Kuhn. Kuhn shot sails wide again. A great look from Hersman to Kuhn. Game number 2 of our triple header today, folks. Earlier today it was Davenport and North Dakota State, the Bison from NDSU, with an 8-7 win over the Panthers. That ball off the side of the cage. St. Thomas, a long offensive possession here. Ball finally hits the turf. And it's out of bounds off Missouri State. That was Dan Funk stepping out of bounds with the ball in his cross.
Yeah, nice piece of one-on-one defense though by Funk. Dan, he took Burke on and was able to check the ball out of his stick and just kind of ran out of real estate there on the sideline.
Tommy's on the startup. That's Hersman. Hersman to the middle of the field. Feeds it inside. Kuhn was there, missed the pass. Fitzgerald shot sails wide out of bounds, backed up by Colpitts. It'll be Tommy's ball.
Yeah, and the Bears are in a little bit of a zone here, Dan. So we'll see if the Tommies can manage to split a seam somewhere, get an open look.
Fitzgerald near side. Up top to Klipala. To Kuhn. Kuhn pulls out, gives the ball to Hersman, who buries it in the back of the net. St. Thomas up 5-1 and a flag down on the play.
And the preliminary signal looked like unnecessary roughness.
Play.
Good dish over to the wing, and again, Nyhard seems to be having trouble with those shots coming off the wing.
Andrew Rolfe with the penalty. There'll be a face-off at midfield. St. Thomas up 5-1.
Unnecessary roughness, 1 minute.
Tommy's man up. Critical face-off for the Bears. Palermo was detwigged. That was a good thing. It gave Bears possession of the ball. That's Callahan with it, coming to the near side. Good defensive work by Ben Vasco.
Callahan thought he lost the ball. It was still in his stick.
Now they lost it. Will come the other way, Will Purple. Amar had it, lost it.
Good fake.
It's picked up by another long pole, takes it in, shoots and scores! That long pole is Gauss. That's his second in as many days.
On the exact same play, Dan. Gauss did the same thing yesterday. Picked up the loose ball on the defensive end, ran it all the way down coast to coast. Great fake pass across the middle that sucks the defense across to the other side of the field, and he, including the goalie, and he just shoots it behind the goalie into what amounts to an open net. Good smart play.
6-1 Tommies on top of Missouri State. Bears kept it close for one. The Tommies have rattled off 5 in a row now to take a 6-1 edge.
Stay tuned after the game, folks, for the Lax Lessons Play of the Game. Play of the Game brought to you by Lax Lessons, your source for the ultimate playbook.
Easy for you to say.
Not really very much.
Bears with the ball. That one off the top of the cross of Baker. Bailed out by his defenseman. Baker gets the ball again. Drops it on the penetration. Loose ball. We're going to have a push. It'll be Bears ball. Six to 1 in favor of the Tommies. We've got a procedure on Missouri State. The ball will go over to St. Thomas. St. Thomas looking for the sweep here at the St. Louis Invitational. Again, 9-8 over Davenport, our highlight game on Friday night. An 11-4 win over Missouri Baptist in the only game we got in yesterday. And now a 6-1 edge. Late in the first half against Missouri State. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. We're at Gay Field at Centene Stadium here in Clayton, Missouri today. That shot saved by Nyhard. Missouri State with it. That's Klein in the neon green shoes.
Yeah, Cleveland maybe to the well once too often there on that shot. Thinking Nyhard was susceptible to that low bouncer from that short angle, but not enough on the shot, and basically right in Nyhard's stick.
Great fundamental defense by John Opsel on the wrap checks. Forcing Ben Scheer wide and made him circle the whole cage. Feet inside, nice. Shot sails wide. Another one, a great save on that one by Zeilinger. That was so pretty, it could be a candidate for our play of the game.
Yeah, Zeilinger had absolutely no business making that save, Dan. He was completely out of position, but managed to dive back into the cage and get a stick up high to block that shot.
The Bears' Will Squires picks up the loose ball. Getting in the way of his pass was Ryan Beeson. St. Thomas is going to get possession of this ball. That's Jesse Amar who picks it up behind the cage on the near side.
Yeah, but another great play by Zeilinger on the end line to keep the ball in bounds.
Whenever you hold a team to one goal, and that was the very first goal of the game, and it came pretty early, you've got a goaltender and a defense doing their job. There's a shot and a goal. That was Carbonneau. He loves that angle, and he shows us why. And as pretty as that goal was, the assist may have been even better.
Yeah, it was a great look across to Carbonneau, and he's shown us all weekend that he loves that skinny angle shot and able to be extremely accurate and stuffed it right inside the pipe.
7-1 St. Thomas with the 6-goal lead late in the first half. Game number 2 this Sunday morning at the Saint Louis Invitational. Earlier today was Davenport rallying late but falling short in their bid to knock off North Dakota State in their revenge game from last year. 8-7 the final in that one. The Bison on top.
Yeah, their Carbonneau was trying to return the favor to Colpitts and get the hard feet across, and again, kind of sidearm the pass. Tough to be accurate, and threw it a little wide.
Speaking of the Bison, they're hanging around here at the stadium watching this one. A few of them walking around the track to stay loose. The Bison taking the brunt of the storm, if you will, as they'll play a doubleheader today after having played Davenport earlier. They'll be our third and final game here from Centene Stadium this afternoon at 1 p.m. local time, 2 on the East Coast and 11 a.m. on the West Coast. We will have played more lacrosse before noon on the West Coast than may have ever been done in history.
That is certainly possible, and we had a push with possession there, Dan. So the Tommies will be man down for 30.
By the time the clock strikes noon, we will have played 2.5 games here in St. Louis. Missouri State on offense. St. Thomas man down. Baker has it, feeds it up top. That was Squires who bounced the ball up over the cage for the Bears. Got an official's timeout. We'll keep it right here.
Yeah, the official restarted the ball off the end line, Dan, when after Zeilinger had chased the shot, and the rule book says the goalie gets 5 seconds to return to the crease.
Yeah, really not a whole lot of fairness if you're starting early, is there?
3, 2, 1.
Penalty's been released.
Hold even.
Bears working the ball around. Callahan had it behind the cage. He gives it up top. It actually bounces off of Zeilinger's foot and into the cage. I think that was Saba. No, that was Shearer.
Yeah.
His second.
Yeah, same thing we saw yesterday, Dan. We talked about it. It's real common to see it right after the penalty is released and you've got a man coming in. I think the defense tends to kind of relax because they know they've kind of killed the penalty, but really you're still a man down until that guy gets in the game and is able to man up on somebody. So nice job by the Bears to keep the ball moving and get the good shot.
7-2 our score. Favor of St. Thomas. That goal by Shearer ends a 6-goal run by the Tommies. Missouri State wins the faceoff, immediately calls timeout. So we'll take it with them. 7-2 your score. The Tommies on top of the Bears. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Wax TV.
The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic is elevating lacrosse when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. Call 303 Outlaws or log on to milehighlaxclassic.com.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Back in St. Louis, Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. Folks, for what it's worth, this could be our last 2 games of the season, and we don't want to see that happen. So if you like what we do, click that little donate button in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and let's see if we can get funding. We're supposed to go to Salt Lake City 2 weeks from now. Sponsorship and funding is what keeps this happening, and we really don't want to call it a season. We love what we do, and we hope you love it as much as we love doing it. St. Thomas gets the turnover, heads downfield on the transition. Big shot, sails a little bit high, and it's backed up by Carbonneau. That event in 2 weeks is the Griffin Invitational in Salt Lake City. These same St. Thomas Tommies will be there. We'll have to talk to all the parents down in the stands and see if they want us to be broadcasting those games from Salt Lake, Todd.
Absolutely. I think
I got a big thumbs up. Now we need somebody to write the check.
The Tommy Mommies need to step up here.
St. Thomas will be there, as will Westminster, Concordia, and Northern Colorado. 6 games the end of March. Pass up top. I think that was intended for a short man, but ends up in the stick of Hersman all the way up at the top instead. Hersman with penetration, feeds it behind the cage on the wing. That's a shot and a goal. Vipala with the score, his second of the game.
Yeah, that's about 4 we've seen from that right side, Dan, and it does appear that Nyhard's kind of vulnerable to that shot from that side. The Tommies are also doing a great job of putting the ball right on the inside of that far pipe.
Yes, they are, to say the least. They've taken that same play essentially. I mean, it's not. I don't know that it's even really a set play.
No.
But they've had that same play essentially that comes from GLE on the far side to the wing on the near side, and whoever that wing is just burying the ball far side behind the post.
Yeah, these guys shoot very, very hard and very accurately, and that's like I say, that's 3 or 4 we've seen from that same side.
Eight to 2 is our score at the end of the first half. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker bringing you this action from St. Louis, Missouri at the St. Louis Invitational. We'll be back with the Inside Lacrosse Halftime Show. Again, your score, St. Thomas 8, Missouri State 2. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores!
Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy. Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
Experience the energy of college lacrosse at the Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn. Duke versus Denver. A championship-ready lineup that showcases the intensity of the nation's fastest-growing sport. For tickets and schedule, call 303-OUTLAWS or log on to MileHighLaxClassic.com. The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic, elevating lacrosse.
This is Bob Clarkson with Davenport University Panthers, and you're watching Lax TV.
We're back at St. Louis's Centene Stadium Gay Field here, actually in Clayton, Missouri. A nice field that sets out here, just kind of in a little valley between the residential neighborhoods. Far side of the field, you can see some of the homes out there. And Todd, this game was close at the end of one. St. Thomas decided they had had enough of that.
Well, a tale of two quarters, Dan. Both teams came out extremely tight in that opening quarter and played to a 1-1 tie at the end of one. But yeah, it looked like the Tommies kind of woke up here in the second quarter. Much better job handling the ball and controlling the ball and getting good shots on goal. Stop forcing the crease and trying to look for feeds that weren't there, and here we are. Here we sit at halftime with the differential that we've got.
It's been a good one here so far, at least for the Tommies, and sure, having a nice game for Missouri State as well. Todd, we've got a big game coming up after this one at 1 p.m. We're going to have Kennesaw State taking on North Dakota State. And North Dakota State will be playing their second game of the day and not having a boatload of sleep last night. That could even that game out just a little bit.
Well, that's exactly right, Dan. And on paper, you would say that North Dakota State ought to win that game reasonably easily. There are two factors that might change that. One is we watched Kennesaw play a really good game the other day. And with North Dakota State playing their second game today, there might be some equalization there, and we might see a much tighter game than we would have expected.
And we were very impressed with Kennesaw State in their opener against Missouri State.
Yeah, they really moved the ball well and got the ball to the right guy in the right place, which does not always happen in these games. And Kennesaw sort of surprised us with their effort.
Shifting gears a little bit back to this game, St. Thomas and their defense has just been stifling these last two games against Missouri Baptist and Missouri State.
Their close D is really impressive, and really on both ends of the floor, both ends of the field. They do they play excellent one-on-one and team defense, and they also clear the ball well and are actually able to score as evidenced by a couple goals this weekend by their D.
That defense is led by Jesse Amar, a 6'2", 200-pound defenseman from Andover, and his coach very high on Jesse. We had a chance to speak with Jesse before this invitational started. Let's take a listen to what he had to say. We're here with Jesse Amar, defenseman for the St. Thomas Tommies, and Jesse, Let's talk to you about what life is like without Joe Costello from a player's perspective.
Joe is obviously a huge asset to our team. Playing against him every day made everybody on the defense better. Obviously he is a great player. Going out against him every day, proved to be difficult, but prepared us for the regular season and all the good players that we would face in the MCLA. So we obviously are going to miss him, but he made us as a better team.
Outstanding. And Jesse, when you're out there on the field, your coach talks about you being really the leader of the defense. How do you facilitate that leadership out there?
It's all about communication. We got a great group of guys on defense this year. Really a strong group for us at St. Thomas. But it's all about communication on the field. Just talking with each other, making sure we all know where we're at on the field, and what we plan on doing is the key for us. So as long as we're on the same page, we can make mistakes, but as long as we're making the same mistake, we'll be pretty strong. So.
Jesse, thanks so much. We appreciate
And welcome back to halftime here, folks. We're at Centene Stadium in Clayton, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. Halftime of a game between the Missouri State Bears and the St. Thomas Tommies. Little news there from Jesse Amar and talking about his what he was expecting out of this weekend, and again the close defense unit for St. Thomas has been really impressive all weekend. They've shut down all the attack that they've faced off against, and just done a really nice job. And Zeilinger and Bang, and it looks like we're going to see Bang in the second half in the cage here for the Tommies. Really haven't had to work too awfully hard with the defense that they've had in front of them. So really impressed with the Tommies' close D this weekend. Missouri State, a little bit of an uphill climb in the second half here, Dan, and they really need to get ramp up their game if they want to climb back into this one.
The question is if they want to get back into it. I think they've got a battle on their hands in order to do it without a doubt. Let's go ahead and take a break here. The score at halftime, 8-2, St. Thomas over Missouri State. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
This is Bob Clarkson with Davenport University Panthers, and you're watching Lax TV.
CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL.
That's a rainbow ball.
And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long Palmero, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL, coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse.
Welcome back again here, folks, at Centene Stadium in Clayton, Missouri. Just finishing up halftime here between the Missouri State Bears and the St. Thomas Tommies. Been all Tommies so far. We after a 1-1 tie at the end of the first quarter, the Tommies woke up a little bit, and we're sitting at 8-2 St. Thomas at halftime.
Todd, it's been a great day for lacrosse. We could have handled this all weekend.
Well, it ain't raining and there's no lightning, so so far we're in business.
Folks, you think that broadcasting a game might be hard. Try not broadcasting a game and sitting around for 5 hours hoping that you're going to get to do it. I have a great admiration for the baseball announcers now who will endure rain delay after rain delay. It definitely poses a big challenge in trying to figure it out. And Andy Jolly did an incredible job with this and dealing with all the adversity.
Well, kudos to Andy Jolly, and double secret kudos to our production team for turning around 180 degrees and getting us set up over here at Centene Stadium, where we had not necessarily planned to be set up, and they were up in the wee small hours of this morning getting ready for this game, and great job getting us on and getting us ready for this game.
Dealing with a lot of adversity, and the teams too, dealing with schedule changes and all of that. Bam Shaft is one of our presenting sponsors of Lax TV. Bam Shaft, the original bamboo lacrosse shaft. And don't forget about Inside Lacrosse. Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. Also a presenting sponsor of Lax TV. We're set for the second half of action. St. Thomas with a 6-goal lead on Missouri State. Let's head back to the X and the second half. Second half face-off still on the ground. Battle for the loose ball. And it's picked up by Lucius and fed across to Gauss. And Gauss brings the ball across the midfield stripe. He stays on the offensive side, waiting for the substitution from Schublum. St. Thomas on the offensive side of the ball.
And one of the Tommies faithful has informed us that it's Gauss. And
That's
sure,
in the bandage.
There you go. And I'm sure that Coach Moosberger has no problems with Kevin Gauss being on the offensive side of the ball, given that he has 2 goals this weekend.
Now, did that come via Twitter?
No, that came,
or a fan in the stands?
Via the stands.
Glad to hear it. You have told the people down in the stands they pay extra for this, right? You know, not only do we have people watching on Lax TV, we get people live right here in the stadium that get to hear the broadcast as well, because we're just right on the top of the bleachers where people can hear. I know factually that there were people that chose their seats at the games because they could be right below us and listen. Tommy's very patient on offense. There's a shot by Schublum.
Good save.
That one's low, and a nice save by Nyhard. On the clear, Lyle McCallum had the ball for Missouri State.
Yeah, that was a low-to-low shot that Nyhard really didn't have much trouble with. The no change of planes there, so he stayed with the ball nicely, and easy save.
Funk brought it across the midfield stripe for the Bears. They'll set their offense trailing by 6. I missed that, Todd. You did too, didn't you?
I absolutely did. That was the trail official over here by the bench, and so I'm going to assume that we had an illegal sub by the Bears.
We're going to have a guest sometime here in the third quarter. We're going to be joined by Robbie Kirch from the Rush, and they've got a unique concept that they're putting out there for fans that can't be at the games, and even fans who want to catch up and see all of the action. We'll talk to him about what they're doing in just a little bit. In the meantime, Missouri State has the ball, looking to get back into this one, trailing by 6. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker with you here. At Centene Stadium, Gay Field in Clayton, Missouri. St. Thomas with the ball and the lead. Feed up top, shot to goal. That one put between the pipes by Brendan Yanks, the sophomore from Breck High School. Typically a defensive mid, he gets his first of the year.
That was a great clear initiated by Ian Pollard, a freshman defenseman there, and Yates, nice job cutting to the cage. Nobody picked him up. Good feed across. And the goal.
Got a procedure. St. Thomas ball on the faceoff. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker with you here. Clayton, Missouri, the site of the St. Louis Invitational on this Sunday, and that was Will Hersman putting the ball on the back of the net.
That's something I'm surprised we don't see more often, Dan. On an illegal procedure on the faceoff, the faceoff man by rule has to get off the field, and until he comes off, you can't sub for him. So there's a de facto fast break with a 6-on-5 by the team that has not offended, and Hersman just did a good job, just taking it to the goal and finishing once he got down the alley.
Another St. Thomas possession. They lead 10-2 here in game number 2 of our triple header. Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. Thanks for tuning in here on Lax TV. And don't forget, folks, you can interact with us on Twitter. The handle @Lax TV, LAXX TV. St. Thomas with the ball inside, shot, sails wide, backed up by Carbonneau. John Michael Kuhn with it. Leaves it up top for Klipala. Scoop got away just a little bit. Nobody around up top though, and Klipala resets the offense. Feed inside, gets all the way through. Carbonneau tries to scoop it up, but he's heading to the cage without the ball. Missouri State will head the other direction on offense. Lose the ball out of bounds, back to St. Thomas.
Yeah, real nice hustle by Will Hersman on that ride, Dan. He really was kind of beat up field, but he managed to catch up and get a wrap check, dislodge the ball out of bounds to the Tommies. Here comes Mr. Gauss. I would not let him go unabated to the cage. I'm sorry, Mr. Gauss.
Shame on you.
I was corrected, and I still got it wrong.
Multitasking in the press box, Todd, and thank you for the coverage on that. Missouri State with the clear. Brueggemann has it, near side. Chasing him around is Brendan Yates. Yates just a sophomore, tallying his first goal of the season.
And a nice one it was.
Todd, I think in this one, I know it's early, but I think I have to lean toward giving the Player of the Game award to the defense, the entire defensive squad. They deserve the props after the weekend they've had.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. We've been singing their praises, but yeah, they probably deserve a little spam shaft recognition for their efforts.
And the play of the game has to go to any one of those wing goals that have been scored by the Tommies. It's early. We may see something different. Right now, I'd have to say the goal by Carbonneau.
Going to be a push with possession.
I'd have to say the lone goal by Carbonneau would have to be the play of the game, just because that angle was ridiculous.
Cameron Bostwick again, just kind of a careless foul. He's you're out of position. The man picking up the ground ball's got his back to you, and he just shoved him out of bounds. Automatic 30-second push.
That goal taking place in the second period that made the score 7-1 by Carbonneau. Again, we know it's early. This game, right now at least, fairly well under control in favor of the Tommies at 10-2. Nice feed inside, just misses the stick of Schublum, cutting from the top. And Missouri State takes it the other way.
Yeah, that was a nice feed, and one Schublum really should have handled.
Chris Callahan had it, lost it. Tommies come the other way, 3-on-1. That shot, nice save by Nygaard.
Great save by Nygaard.
It was a great play on the angle. So the Tommies will regroup on offense. Ball comes near side to Cleveland. Cleveland shoots, it sails wide, backed up by Carbonneau. That feed bounces off the cage, doesn't get through to the front. Missouri State will go the other way, trailing by 8. Working the ball behind the cage are the Bears. It's Bostwick with it on the far side.
Matched up against Joe Palermo.
Bostwick comes near side, he shoots. That ball sails wide. We have a new goalie in the game for St. Thomas. Stephen Bang has entered the game. 5'5", 155 pounds. St. Thomas on the clear. With the ball in the offensive zone now. Coach Pete Moosberger does a great job of calling off the dogs a little bit, making his team be more patient, making him throw the ball around before taking the shot. There's a nice feed to the front.
Another good save.
And a great save by Nygaard. But, you know, I think he really has conversations with his players down on the field to say, hey, look, we've got control of this game. At this point, make sure you've got a great shot before you actually take it. We don't need to keep piling it on.
Yeah, Coach Moosberger is not one to let his guys go for a stat game, as it's generally known, and he's looking for good play and good solid lacrosse, and everybody going one-on-one and trying to see how many goals they can score. He's not going to let that go.
There's a shot and a save. Nice save by Bang on the skip shot.
There's a nice shot by Scherer and a real nice save by Bang.
It's just about noon here in St. Louis. St. Thomas and Missouri State 10-2 Tommies over the Bears. Midway, maybe a little bit further into the third quarter. Tommy's working the ball around. That's Colpitts driving GLE. Takes it far side. Behind the cage is Altman. Up top. Shot off the pipe by Cleveland. And it ends up in the Bears' stick. We'll head the other direction. On the clear, that's Dean Cervantes.
Stay tuned after the game, folks, for our Lax Lessons Play of the Game. Play of the Game brought to you by Lax Lessons, your source for the ultimate playbook. We're also brought to you by Lacrosse Talk, North America's first and most comprehensive show dedicated to the sport of lacrosse. Tune in Sunday night, tonight, at 7 Eastern. You'll hear Dan and I with a best of Crooked Arrows show on lacrossetalkradio.com.
That Crooked Arrows segment on Lacrosse Talk's been a lot of fun as we've followed the production pretty much from beginning to end. We've talked with actors, directors, composers, producers, you name it. We've talked to them, and all in the production effort of the first ever lacrosse-based motion picture. And that's set to be released now on May 18th. So make sure you tune in tonight for the best of Lacrosse Talk, the Crooked Arrows edition, with me and Todd.
And we had a flag down on the far side, Dan, on that clear, and Tommy's going to go down for a minute for a trip.
Callahan has the ball in his cross. He'll restart. No, he won't. He's going to give it up to Bostwick.
Guys, get out of the box. Out of the box. Out. This is the box right here, guys. Red line. Purple 3-8 trip. 1 minute.
A little slow on this restart. 38. That's Whiteginnon with the trip. Pass almost gets away there. Missouri State man up. That was a wicked shot from the near side that sailed wide from Bostwick.
Again, a little farther out than you like to see on an extra man shot.
Let's go ahead and bring in Robbie Kirch from the Rush. And Robbie's going to join us here on Lax TV. This game well under control for the Tommies at 10-2. And Robbie, you and I were talking about the Rush just a few minutes ago. And I am in awe of the things you do. Explain what you do to the audience. But it's not just goals that can be seen.
Also enables parents to really see if their kid plays defense and doesn't necessarily score any goals, they get their highlights as well.
So you can see the defensive highlights when you've got things like takeaways, ground balls, etc.
You've got that exactly right. And the other cool thing too is that these teams and the players that participate are able to then share everything they have through various social media outlets like Facebook and Twitter, all in real time.
That was a beautiful ground ball goal by Adam Gleason for St. Thomas, giving the Tommies an 11-2 lead here in Clayton, Missouri. Robbie, how did you guys get started with this project, and what are you looking for as far as growth with the Rush?
Well, we currently participate in a multitude of sports. We've got ice hockey, football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, volleyball, and others. And we participate in MCLA level currently, NCAA Division II and Division III, and we also do a small amount of high school tournaments across the country. We were very heavily involved in the basketball scene last year, and we got to see a lot of great tournaments, one of which was in Springfield, Missouri, which was the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions.
With all of this, it takes a lot of manpower to do it. Do you have enough manpower to handle the demand at this point?
The great thing is the setup's pretty simple. I mean, we've got a laptop and a camera for a game, and with those two products, you can shoot anywhere, anytime, any sport. So the one thing we do look for when we're traveling to these cities is finding a Rush team that can basically set up for us, film, and score while everything's going on. And they get a little bit of sports broadcasting expertise at the same time.
Robbie, how could people learn more about the Rush?
Well, you can visit us at therush.com. We, of course, are also on Twitter and heavily involved in social media at The Rush Live. And then we've got a Facebook page you can check out as well. And the exciting thing is we've got our new website launching next week, and it's going to be a great improvement from what we're running right now, and we're looking forward to seeing that going live.
I'm sitting here interviewing you, watching you multitask, and you didn't stop talking the whole time you were working the computer.
That's right.
That's impressive.
That's the great thing about it. I think I can give credit to myself playing video games and telling my parents what they need to know when I was younger. I give them credit for being able to multitask like that.
So a big thanks to Xbox and PlayStation,
you got that right? That's right.
Robbie, what's your background?
I'm actually a former MCLA player myself. I did a short stint at Leonardwood and talked to Derek Schaub, helped them get that program off the ground. And after my first year there, I just realized it wasn't a place for me. Transferred to the University of Wyoming, started the MCLA team there, and I know they've had a rough time of it as it's not the biggest lacrosse community in the U.S., but they've got a team, and it's good to see that they're still up and running.
Outstanding, Robbie. Thanks for taking the time to join us, and hopefully we brought you some more business.
Absolutely. Thanks much for the time. It's been great being here with you guys this weekend.
You bet. Thanks, Robbie. That's Robbie Kirch from the Rush. And folks, you got to check it out. This would have come in real handy for me this weekend, leaving my son and the rest of the family behind in Denver while he had a couple of varsity 2 games at Cherry Creek High School in Denver. And I could have seen every face-off that he had. And I do understand he went 6 of 7 at the X in his first game this weekend. I didn't get the chance to talk to him about last night's game, so I don't know how that went. But watch out for this kid at the X, Todd.
There you go.
To say the least. I believe that's a quarter break.
That is the quarter.
Let's take 60 seconds. Our score, 11-2 in favor of St. Thomas at the end of 3. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
With Davenport University Panthers, and you're watching Lax TV.
back to Centene Stadium, folks, here in Clayton, Missouri, with a matchup between the St. Thomas Tommies and the Missouri State Bears.
Thanks to Robbie Kirch for joining us. An excellent product that I think the Rush has going, Todd.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, and one that lets folks see the highlights they want to.
There's another St. Thomas goal. 12-2 our score now in favor of the Tommies. Who got that one, Todd?
That's an interesting.
Blair off the numbers got you baffled again, huh? That one was 29. Paul Duckstad, that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The Tommies not even trying at this point, but Missouri State struggling to get any balls even on cage, hence our inclination to give player of the game honors to the St. Thomas defense. They've allowed 6 goals so far in their last 2 games, and quite frankly, it all starts there. If you're not giving up goals to the other team, it makes the job of the offense just a little bit easier.
Yeah, it certainly takes the pressure off the offense if they know they don't have to score a whole lot of goals to come out on top. And the St. Thomas defense really has been stifling.
The North Dakota State Bison stuck around for this one. A few of them playing catch in the end zone off to our left, getting ready for their second game of the day, the 1 o'clock tilt against Kennesaw State. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker with you at the St. Louis Invitational in St. Louis, Missouri.
A little bit of freshman jitters there, Dan. Missouri State's kind of gone to a real quick double team to try and climb back into this a little bit, and Clavin sort of got rattled and threw the ball out of bounds.
And the Tommies have emptied the bench in this one, which is always good to see. I like it when a coach seizes an opportunity to get some younger, more inexperienced players some action out on the field.
Yeah, the starting D is out of the game, and that's really what these kind of games are good for. If you're the St. Thomas coaching staff, you want to get your younger players as much playing time as possible, because it's not going to be too long before they're the starters.
Beeson has his second of the year. Duckstad has his third. Yates has his first. Some of the guys don't often get a chance getting an opportunity here today. Even some wholesale changes on the defensive side of the ball. As I see the starting defense of Amar, Vasco,
and Gauze
on the sidelines. Actually, I think Vasco's still out there on the far side. But Amar and Gauze have come off. Tommy set their offense. Todd, is it safe to say at this point that we're going to go with the St. Thomas defensive unit as our player of the game?
We're going with the D unit.
That defensive unit includes, again, Jesse Amar, Kevin Gauze, and Ben Vasco. Good action at both ends of the field. There's a lot of players getting some experience for both squads. We got Weiler, Squires, and Shearer on the field with Callahan, McCallum, and I'm missing one for Missouri State right now as they set the offense. There's a feed into the middle. Loose ball. Battle for it. Everybody working for it. It's picked up by goaltender Stephen Bang, who starts the clear for St. Thomas. An unsuccessful clear will stay with Missouri State. That's Callahan. Callahan shoots. There's a save by Bang. Good man ball by St. Thomas right there. Nobody able to come up with possession. We've got laundry on the field. A little of extracurricular activity by Dave Warsowitz from Columbia, Missouri's Rockbridge High School. Tune in for the call here.
Here's our new rule, Dan, the illegal body check to the head, which will be a 2-minute non-releasable penalty. So the Tommies, regardless of how many goals they score, the penalty will not be released until the end of that 2 minutes.
And that's Matt Cece with the penalty for Missouri State. Matt's from Rockwood Summit High School in Fenton, Missouri. 2 times All-State here in Missouri. St. Thomas will set the offense. Carbonneau near side. Working around, shot sails wide. That was Cleveland. Restart near side for Carbonneau. Tommy's throw it away. We'll head the other direction.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, folks. Send us your tweets. And if we can, we'll read those and respond to them during the course of the game. Our Twitter handle is @LaxTV. That's @LAXXTV.
If we had only had this weather the previous couple of days. It's a beautiful day here in St. Louis. Carbonneau standing on the top of the crease, jumping up and down, yelling across the field, looking for the pass. He was all alone, but unseen by Rajenovich. We've got a timeout on the field. Your score, St. Thomas 12, Missouri State 2. We'll be back right after this.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross, bounce, score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker back in St. Louis, Missouri at Centene Stadium. Gay Field, the second of our triple header here on Lax TV this Sunday morning. It's no longer morning for us, but morning for half the nation anyway. And again,
Stay tuned after the game, folks, for our Bam Shaft Player of the Game and our Lax Lessons Play of the Game. Bam Shaft, the original bamboo lacrosse shaft, and Lax Lessons Play of the Game, brought to you by Lax Lessons, your source for the ultimate playbook.
Dan Matthews and Todd Walker with you. Still have time on that 2-minute unreleasable penalty. We are in the fourth quarter of action here in St. Louis. Shot from the top, save made, and then dropped and recovered by Nygaard. The shot came from Palermo. Palermo was our Bam Shaft Player of the Game yesterday. And Carbonneau, in the game before, was our Player of the Game in that Davenport game that was a thriller in overtime that gave St. Thomas what will appear to be Tuesday's #1 ranking. There's another good save by Nygaard on a point-blank shot by Carbonneau at the top of the crease.
Yeah, good look by Burke. Just saw Peter Carbonneau nested right there in the front of the crease. Nobody near him, got the ball to him, and Carbonneau just pulled it a little bit wide.
There's a shot that trickles through the legs of Nygaard. That one came off the stick of Cleveland. Cleveland, a freshman from Egan High School in Minnesota.
He's been not been shy about firing it up on the extra man from that left wing, Dan, and that's the first one that he's managed to squeak through. And Nygaard got a big piece of it, but it just kind of trickled through the 5-hole into the goal.
13-2 is our score. The Tommies on top. That 2-minute penalty should be just about expired.
I think I heard the official say there were about 13 seconds left, Dan.
And I'm guessing we're somewhere near the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Tommy's with the steal. Penalty's been released. Clear made by St. Thomas. Tommy's with a 13-2 lead here in the fourth quarter. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. Your Lax TV play-by-play and color commentary crew. Tommy's taking the air out of the ball now with that 11-goal lead late. Near side is Klipala. Over to Hersman. Pass sails high. That one was intended for Zach Whiteice.
A little bit of a lazy pass there from Hersman. If you don't concentrate and kind of step into the pass, the tendency is for it to sail a little high.
Missouri State gets the clear. New goalie into the game for St. Thomas is Eric Buckley. Buckley, a freshman, 5'10", 170 pounds. Getting some playing time for the Tommies. Pass sails high out of bounds. It'll belong to St. Thomas. Mitchell Arvis will restart for the Tommies. He's in on defense now. John Michael Kuhn carries the ball across the midfield stripe for St. Thomas. Drives to the cage and pulls it back out. Tommies will continue to take the air out of the ball. Feed
Nice
inside, that's a goal. That's Klipala. Nice feed from the far side corner. That was Zach Whites on the assist. 14-2 our score. St. Thomas on top of Missouri State.
Yeah, again, Klipala doing a nice job moving off the ball, and Zach finds him kind of high crease there, and good catch, quick shot.
That's actually a hat trick for Klipala today.
Yeah, we've seen different players step up in each of the 3 games that St. Thomas has had, Dan, and that bodes well for them going forward. That when they need to get some extra goals from somebody new, there's somebody right there to fill in that gap.
A lot of balance on this squad. Ryan Beeson has the ball for St. Thomas. A lot of animation down on the sidelines. Even with an 11-goal game, 12-goal game. Gleason tries a very poor angle shot. Ends up getting the loose ball. Pulls it out and gives it to Cleven. That's Duckstad. Back to Cleven on the near side. Cleven with the left-hand cradle. Gives it off to Beeson. Beeson down low to Gleason. Tried to say that one fast 3 times. Cleveland dodges the left alley. He's got a backside feed. Shot. Score. Called him in the crease, though. Took one step too many in putting that ball in the back of the net. That was Zach Whiteace, who would have had his first of the year.
He did a nice job popping open. Cleven with a really nice feed across the crease, but toes were on the line. That is not a goal.
Another Missouri State timeout, or turnover. Score 14-2. I'll tell you, Missouri State started off, and it looked like they'd give St. Thomas a dogfight. That dogfight ended after a quarter.
Yeah, really, I think, Dan, was a case of the Tommies waking up a little bit. They came out, looked a little tired.
There's a feed inside, and a goal for St. Thomas. 15-2 our score now. That one was Christopher Taylor, his 3rd of the season. And it's 15-2 St. Thomas with the lead. Looks like number 26, Christopher Taylor, had his bell rung or something.
Well, Dan, I think it's a case of when you don't get much playing time, you're not necessarily in playing shape. And he's suffering the ill effects of a little bit more exercise than he's used to, I think.
Question is, will the Rush post that highlight?
We'll look for it.
Look, Ma, I got into the game.
That's
Oops.
right.
And all that after scoring a goal.
Pass intercepted by Nyhard, and really, Dan, Nyhard has played a pretty good game. He has a fair number of saves, and boy, he's faced an awful lot of shots, and most of which have been fairly point blank. So
This one's definitely been a stats game for Nyhart. His goals against average isn't going to be high, but his save percentage isn't going to climb probably, but his saves are. Not the kind of stats you want to put up, but nevertheless, it's a happening. 2 minutes left to go in this contest. 2 minutes. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker at Centene Stadium's Gay Field. Wonder how that sounds going out over the air, Todd. You've said it an awful lot. Can't do anything about the name, folks.
No, we don't get to rename them. We just show up and do the game. So
let's talk about lacrosse talk. Hosted by yours truly and his truly, Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. Lacrosse Talk is North America's first and most comprehensive show dedicated to the sport of lacrosse each and every Sunday evening at lacrossetalkradio.com, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. on the left coast. This week we'll be somewhere in the middle of Kansas, so we've got a recorded best of show, the Crooked Arrows edition for this week's show. Make sure you tune in and learn all about how a movie gets made. We're also the presenting sponsor of the post-game show.
today's game's also brought to you in part by In Lax We Trust. Listen to the best NCAA D3 lacrosse action on the Lacrosse Radio Network, the home of live lacrosse audio via inlaxwetrust.com.
The Missouri State Bears have the ball as this one winds down here in St. Louis, the second of our triple header here on Lax TV. Todd Walker will head down to the field and he'll have interviews with the winning coach. That's Pete Moosbrugger, as well as the entire defensive unit for the St. Thomas Tommies, who in their last 2 games have only given up 6 goals combined. Many of those actually came late at the hands of Missouri Baptist yesterday morning. There's a big save by the freshman goaltender Eric Buckley, getting his feet wet in this game.
That was a nice save, Dan, coming into a game cold. No warm-up, facing a good hard shot and turning it back.
James Mackey.
And we're under 2, so
must keep the ball in the box.
Tommy's got to keep it in.
That's the end of this one, folks. 15-2, the final score here at Centene Stadium's Gay Field. We'll be back with our post-game show presented by Lacrosse Talk after these words.
This is Bob Clarkson with Davenport University Panthers, and you're watching Lax TV.
CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL.
That's a rainbow ball.
And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long pole barrel, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse. It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
To keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores. Fires, score. What a beautiful pass. Charges in, scores.
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7. Only on CBS Sports Network.
We're back in St. Louis, Missouri, Gay Field at Centene Stadium, where the St. Thomas Tommies run the table and most definitely will ascend to the top of the polls when they come out on Tuesday. Todd Walker's down on the field with head coach Pete Moosbrugger. Todd, take her away.
Down here trackside with Coach Pete Moosbrugger and the victorious St. Thomas Tommies, coming out of this one with an impressive 14-2 win over the Missouri State Bears. And Coach, this has sort of become monotonous, but another great game by your squad.
They've been working really hard. They've been showing up since fall ball, so I'm really proud of our group. We've been really hard on them, and they've done a great job this weekend. I just have one thing to say: to Inside Lacrosse Magazine and Agent Ogden, this is the #1 defense in the nation, not St. John's.
Well, it'd be tough to argue with that sentiment at this point, Coach. And offensively, you guys have been doing it all weekend, but the D has just been incredible, and you guys have shut down everybody you faced.
Yep, some great offenses we faced, and we're just gonna keep rolling.
Okay, and as our BAM Shaft player of the game is this massive humanity that represents the St. Tommy's defense, and whose spokesman today is going to be Jesse Amar. And Jesse, all weekend you guys have just been really impressive, and not just on the defensive end. You guys have cleared the ball, and we've got even a couple goals out of this defensive unit this weekend.
Yeah, we're a pretty strong group. You know, it's all about communication. You know, if we're talking with each other and play strong D from the hub out, and we've been pretty successful with this, so we're going to try and keep rolling.
Good play from the goalies all weekend, Coach, and the long poles have been spectacular, and we look forward to you guys moving on in the course of the season.
Yep, we'll see you guys in Utah.
Absolutely. And I sort of left you hanging yesterday. Did you have a shout out you wanted to make?
Yeah, I want to make a shout out to my wife Christy, my daughters Taylor and Haley. Thank you, girls. I love you.
Beautiful. Well, the team obviously loves the sentiment, and so do we. Dan, back up to you in the booth.
Thanks, Todd. Great job by the Tommies here this weekend. We'll look forward to seeing them climb the ranks up to #1 next Tuesday, and hopefully we will get to see Coach Pete Moosbrugger and his Tommies in Salt Lake City. Folks out there viewing, you can help make that happen. We are always looking for new sponsors for our broadcasts here on Lax TV, as well as the ability for you guys to make donations if you like what you see on your television screen. So make it happen. These broadcasts aren't cheap, but they sure are fun, and we hope to keep them coming to you. Folks, in about a half an hour from now, we're going to have the third game in our triple header when Kennesaw State takes on North Dakota State. We'll see how North Dakota State rebounds from an earlier game here today where they took down Davenport 8-6. 7. We're going to go ahead and wrap it there. No, you know what? Do we have the Lax Lessons play of the game up? Let's see if we can. Nope, we don't have the Lax Lessons play of the game. But, folks, it was the Carbonneau goal that made the score 7-1. And that goal is our Lax Lessons play of the game. Todd, we have a handful of thank yous to give before signing off for game number 2 of our triple header.
We do, Dan. A special thanks to Andy Jolly of Missouri Baptist University, the organizer of this great event. It's been a spectacular that we're not done with yet. Lax TV production, Panchito Ojeda and Will Moss on the graphics. Our production crew, Guy Yankovic, the director, Stephen Bodo, the video director. And our camera crew today was Russ Bello, Robbie Hopt, and Ashley Alcamo.
A big thank you to everybody. We'll be back in a half an hour for the third game of our triple header. Again, the final score here from Centene's Stadium's Gay Field. St. Thomas 15 and Missouri State 2. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. We'll see you in 30 minutes.